So me and Jimmy went to go see Civil War, even though I was sort of thinking, will we, won't we, because of you going to a wedding this weekend and me working.
Yeah.
It's sort of touch and go.
But it sort of worked out. And
We worked out time and got good seats.
Yeah.
Pretty good seats.
To be fair, there wasn't actually that many people in that showing.
Well, yeah, because it was 3:30.
Yeah. It wasn't like the best timing, but it worked for us very well.
Yeah, so it was good. But anyway, to the film, spoiler-free version. Everyone knows the storyline.
Yeah.
They have a disagreement, they fall out, they fight.
Well, government wants to put
Restrictions
in place. Some agree, some don't, and then you've got the Winter Soldier in the middle of it. Bucky Barnes in the middle of everything, screwing everything up. Which you know from the trailer and everything, so.
Yeah. So, in general, without spoiling, what do you think of the film as a whole?
I found it a very good and enjoyable film. I definitely was smiling at a good few parts. I was laughing at good jokes.
I think the jokes were too toned down a little bit.
I don't think it was quite at the Avengers
Yeah, the
level,
quips,
the quips and everything.
But I like that because it was more of a serious engagement between our heroes.
And you also had new characters meeting each other for new times, and like the Avengers, then like the second one, they were all comfortable with each other at this point. But in this one, you got new characters meeting everyone else and everything.
I think Black Panther was probably my favourite character. You didn't get to see much of him.
You got to see a good enough amount of him. He played enough role to get me interested, but not to take away from the story or from the limelight and everything.
Okay, I'll rephrase my thing. You got to see enough of him, but not enough of him as the Panther.
Yes.
But you still got enough to be teased into the Black Panther film. Intrigued about that film when it comes out. And basically all the characters there, apart from Bruce Banner and Thor.
Oh, they do get a little mention.
They get a mention, that's it. But all the other characters are there, and they equally have enough screen time / things.
Well, you've got the main ones. You've got Captain America, Iron Man. They take the most because it's basically there to.
But it's Captain America film, isn't it?
It's a Captain America film. Then you got Bucky and Falcon. They're like the side characters of Captain America, and then Romanoff gets a good amount because she's never going to get the film on her own.
Romanoff.
She has to be in all the Captain America films.
Yeah. But she's still Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Gets enough screen time. She has interests on both sides of the field. And Hawkeye's in it.
Yeah, out of retirement for the second time or whatever time
and
it is.
You've got Falcon, you've got...
you got Vision, Ant-Man, everyone in the line. Spider-Man, we've got Spider-Man.
Let's talk about Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's the one that shouldn't have been shown in the trailer, but was.
We don't reckon he should have been shown. He should have just been waited till the movie came out, then we see Spider-Man, but that's our opinion.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought for what we get of Spider-Man, it's good.
Yeah, we get a little bit of Peter Parker.
And we get
a little bit of Spider-Man during the whole fight scene at the airport. And he's done well, he's given good lines, the fight scenes with him are creative, using his powers and everything. We don't get any origin story about him at all, which frankly we didn't need it in this film. We don't need it at all because we think.
I do like your idea though. I don't know if loads of people probably have this idea, but it would be hilarious. Would it? Just tell them.
When Spider-Man gets his own film, we don't need to see the death of Uncle Ben. Because we've seen it in the film, we know it happened, everyone who knows Spider-Man knows that this happened. We just need a picture of Sean Bean and Uncle Ben. That's all you need, and that's all you need to know.
Quickest on-screen death appearance though. He's not even on screen, it's just a photo of him after he's dead.
One is Sean Bean saying no, he's dead already. And it just fits, it just works out well, and
you can imagine.
And to be fair, he's probably been around about the similar age range as what Aunt May is, isn't he? If you think about it, because this Aunt May is considerably younger than the last two we've had.
Or seemingly considerably younger.
Yeah, I think I saw that she was like 51 or 50 or something.
But she is incredibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Even
They made fun about
They
it
made
in
fun
the
about it.
film, which
but she's incredibly attractive.
yeah, fun aren't made.
It's literally like, what? But that's the other character we're introduced to as well. There's a few other side characters that we won't really mention because that's just sort of plot wise.
I mean, there are some comic book readers and people who are familiar with all this will know that get like a little bit of screen time, but they don't. But they'll be in like other films with the other characters a bit more.
Yeah. So talk about the film in parts. I mean, you said that it's the longest Marvel film.
It's the longest Marvel film so far.
So, but we were saying that we didn't.
I didn't feel it drag at all or anything.
No, I didn't feel it drag. There's some bits that were just like
it's definitely split into sections and
different acts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall the pacing's fine.
Some parts I believe could have been taken out or could have been shortened. But a couple of times I think they repeated themselves. But even then it just
maybe the runtime was a bit.
Yeah, they could have shortened it down slightly.
Yeah.
But even then, it's probably a lot shorter than what they originally planned.
And it's probably because Batman vs Superman wasn't that 2 hours or something?
I can't remember.
Now. That was quite a long.
But to say you've got this many characters, you need this. They each need their own amount of screen time, and you've got to fit them all in. You've got to get the story in it. You've got to get the reasoning for everything. They've done very well.
Yeah.
It's a good, solid movie. There are reasons why they're fighting. There are reasons why they disagree with each other.
It's not like Batman vs Superman where it's very, very loosely.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I mean, Batman vs Superman, you could sort of see why they're doing it, but it didn't have any grounding or foundation. It was just shoved into the film. But this, we've got the previous films. We've got everything else. We can see why they're on different sides. And why they're doing this. It ties back to all the other films.
Yeah.
It's just like little bits have been slowly piling up.
Yeah, so that's what DC needs to do. They need to stop rushing. They need to start taking their time and craft their own thing. Because obviously, with the Marvel movies, we've had Iron Man 1 to 3. We've had Captain America.
We've seen Tony Stark's development of the character. We've seen Steve Rogers' development of the character. And it pays off. It works well.
Yeah. You know their personalities and you know sort of how they would fit into those situations.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is justified why they're fighting each other. So that is a good part of the story that helps it.
And to be fair, the fight itself was very nicely done. They had a few fight scenes and they had a few fights.
Yeah, all the fight scenes weren't over. It wasn't like a Daredevil.
No,
like going on forever. Even though that was a very good sequence, but you know what I mean. Like it went on for too long. Like these were.
It's because you had like different characters fighting each other, and then like it went from one group of people fighting to another group of people fighting, and then you had them helping each other out and everything, and they all have the different powers and abilities, all like trying to sync with each other, and not quite melding with each other.
Yeah, it kept it fresh. Sort of the things they did to keep it sort of fresh, like all the fighting, and you get to see Spider-Man, see what's in and Black Panther. You always want to see how their style of fighting is, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, like what you were saying, and we were discussing that in the car on the way back, was the CGI used on Spider-Man and Black Panther. It was
a little heavy now and again.
It did take you out because when there's a scene that you've seen in the trailers where they all stand opposite each other, like the battle lines are drawn, they go towards each other, and when you see Black Panther and Spider-Man,
Black Panther won't say bad because he's black. It's kind of like the CGI works better on a darker.
Whereas Spider-Man is colourful.
He's shorter than everyone else, which doesn't help him to begin with. He just sort of like looks like someone just pasted him in.
Yeah, like
that's the problem.
Because obviously, when they were shooting it, it was probably a guy in a green screen suit, or maybe him.
It was probably him in the green
screen suit.
But they already had a suit for him because there's a scene where he's wearing an actual suit. You can tell he's wearing an actual suit. But at that point, it doesn't look like he's wearing an actual suit.
It might have been with this enhancement of it.
Yeah.
But it just
sometimes
weird.
You don't need to have CGI when you have an actual thing there.
Exactly. You look at obviously Iron Man suits CGI.
Yeah, but you can understand that.
It looks futuristic anyway, so you sort of it doesn't matter. 'Cause
Yeah.
it looks futuristic, and you sort of get that sheen and metal and.
And that's why
Blue.
Black Panther sort of works better than Spider-Man's. But there's still parts of it where the chase sequence where Black Panther is chasing Winter Soldier
That's in the trailers as well. Yeah.
and Captain America and everything, and there's just parts where, because he's jumping around and everything, and you can tell it's CGI so much. The other two, they're actually doing it, but just him, because of the suit, the actor's probably might or might not be doing it himself, but because of the suit CGI and everything, it just takes away from it a little bit.
Yeah, it just, especially, I think it was just the scene where they stood, and they were just standing there. You really saw that you thought, well, they just don't look like they're there.
Yeah.
But that's the only fault really
Yeah.
with the CGI. The
I
only
think they
thing else
could have just spent a little bit extra on that bit, but other than that,
other than that, it was fine.
I don't really have that many complaints.
The action was paced well. The CGI for the most part was great. Characters were good. All had not equal screen time. They had enough.
They had enough
for their characters.
Yeah.
We got the end of credit sequences as
well,
usual.
The end of credit sequence, and then there's an end of credit sequence.
Yes. So that's all. Stand up of a Marvel film. I didn't really notice the music, but then again, I didn't really.
The only music I actually ever noticed was whenever Black Panther appears, you get his tiny little bit of the Black Panther sound.
Yeah.
He just has this like little I'm guessing it's some kind of African music style or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But whenever he's
Nigerian.
just some kind of like African tribal music or something. But whenever he appeared on screen or just shot to him, you just got this little bit of it.
Yeah.
Just like his Black Panther.
But I mean, like, I think that's the thing, because the soundtrack's sort of like the same now. So
yeah.
it's always the Avengers theme. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So you don't really notice it as much. It's just
like
background music.
It worked. It didn't take me away from it. It didn't like pull me in or anything, but it just
there. You just don't
hardly I was used to it. It worked with it.
So that's pretty good. Still a good soundtrack. But yeah, that's basically really for a review. I mean, there's not really anything negative.
I'll just stack it up to the other Marvel films.
Yeah, good point. How does it do the Marvel films? That's a hard one, because there's been so many ups and downs. You said to me, is it better than Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not sure, because I've only seen Winter Soldier once.
I've seen it 2 or 3 times, I can't remember.
But does that mean I've only seen it once because I thought it was a bad film? Or does that mean that I just haven't watched it because...
You must have enjoyed Winter Soldier.
I did enjoy it, that's the thing, I did enjoy it, but it's confusing, like I don't think I've enjoyed any other Marvel film to this point as much as I enjoyed Iron Man 1.
Well, not even Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We think you're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, okay, but...
Even Avengers. Or you still reckon Iron Man 1 is better than the Avengers?
Iron Man 1 was just a special film that started it all off, and I enjoyed that film because, I don't know, I just did. I enjoyed making the suit and all that. Yeah. But I just think... I think this film is definitely up in the upper echelon of films. If you wanted to rank them, it would be probably up there with Soldier.
I reckon I could watch this movie a lot more than I could watch Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier might be slightly better, but this one I could definitely watch it and rewatch it a lot more. Because there's definitely more going on in it. More memorable moments, more... And you just get to see more of the cast as well, which is always nice.
Yeah, it's good to see how the characters interact with each other and are on screen with each other. That's what I do enjoy about these movies.
It's like a slightly better Avengers 2, to be fair, with all the different characters.
Okay, right. I prefer this film to Avengers 2.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I prefer this film to Avengers 2. Definitely.
Yeah.
Whether or not I prefer it to Avengers 1, I do not know.
It's still definitely a good film. It's definitely in the upper regions of all the Marvel films.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's a solid film. It's a solid film. It's not one of those films you think, why the fuck was that made?
Yeah. Because it linked back to all the other films.
Yeah.
It didn't feel... Not really much of it, or if any of it... Do you reckon any of it felt forced? Like they had to put this in to lead... Because in, like, Age of Ultron, you had a few bits which you felt forced to set up this bit of the Marvel Universe or that bit of the Marvel Universe. And this one...
And there have been there have been bad culprits for that in other films as well. But
this one I felt... Whenever they introduced a new character... they didn't force them in. They actually had point to the story. And
so Black Panther has a point to the story.
Yeah.
And Peter Parker was literally like, we're doing a new Spider-Man film. Here he is. We've done the origin story. Yeah. Here he is. He's in the film. Enjoy him. He's
like the least one to. He doesn't fit into the story as well as the others, but he doesn't feel quite so forced because they're trying to take down Captain America and they need help with the Avengers split. And so it makes sense to just bring in a little extra muscle.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't think anyone's forced into the film. I think, I think this film, because they've introduced all these characters and everything, they hadn't mentioned Doctor Strange or anything like that.
No, it's already pre-established characters apart from two.
Yeah, and they can focus just purely on the story. Instead of shoehorning characters, they had two to put in.
I mean, I understand they needed more to make it more Civil War-y, because obviously, for those that read the comics and everything, it is not as epic or as large as the comic books, of which it takes its name from. It's very small because that's all they have at the moment of time.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a couple of others which they could have used, but they didn't from the TV shows and everything. But it's still, from what they use it very well.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll just leave it there. I mean, I would say it's a good film. You should definitely go watch it.
Yeah. There's definitely a few twists and surprises which you don't get from the trailers, which is very nice.
Which is good to have. They could have held more of it back from the trailers.
Yeah, I reckon a couple of parts they could have held back, but
for the most part, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. They've done well with this. It competes well with Batman vs Superman.
I think it is.
I think it's destroyed it. I think they've got nothing to worry about with the DC universe at the moment. They need to sort that out big time.
So there's such a good standing for then the next film, which is Doctor Strange, the next film, which
I'm looking forward to. Actually.
Whether or not how he will connect into the Marvel universe is interesting to see and find out.
Magic and magnets.
Magic and magnets. So
definitely go see it.
Definitely recommend it.
We'll go on to the spoiler section. Thanks for watching and go see it if you haven't already. I don't know. It's ages to come out today in this country, so
yeah.
I think America gets it in the 4th, 5th. They get it later.
Yeah, they get it done.
South Korea apparently had it 3 days ago, according to my neighbours there.
That's lucky bastard.
I know.
Oh well. Freehold more time.
Anyway, I'll see you next time. Or see you in a minute, whichever one you want to do. Yeah.